how did you teach Kurt Cobain to smash the TVs?
Oh, well, I never taught him in the end, but it was amazing. Like, we was playing in Boston. Um, I used to smash 6 TVs that stood every night, and try and get the smoke out of them. So the smoke comes up and it looks. I'd do 6, bang, bang. When we came off the stage in Boston in the States, the tour manager said, "Oh, Nirvana are here." They was #1 with the Nevermind album. #1 band around the world, really, at that point. And they all came in, and the first guy that was Kurt Cobain, and he said, "I love the way you smash the guitars, the television, Steve." I was like, "Wow." I said, "There's an art to it," because I nearly got an electric shock. And I did one night. If it wasn't for the adrenaline of the gig, I might have gone up. I was shaking, trying to get my hands off this. And I said, "There's an art to it like that." And I said, "The way I learned to throw it at the screen, and if you hit it right in the middle, it implodes and the smoke comes. If you hit it wrong, clumsily, the glass breaks and nothing happens, But if you get it right, the smoke comes, it looks amazing, So he loved all that, and he said, "I've only smashed one television." I said, "I'll have to show you how to do it, man. I've smashed thousands on this tour, because all over Britain, Europe, and all around the States, I was doing it every night, smashing these televisions." So I always said to him, I'll show you how it's done. You've not lived, you've only smashed one
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
life. Yeah.
Now
So that
with
was the first
yeah,
meeting with him.
now with LCDs, TVs, it's not so fun.
Huh?
Now when we have LCD screens, it's not much fun. They don't implode like the old ones.
No, you're right. That's the amazing thing. They're boring now. The thin ones, no
Yeah,
good for smashing. Who would have thought the art of smashing the TVs would go out of style? Oh, can't do anything with them now, no.
yeah. Did you get to know Nirvana? Did you get to spend time with them?
Oh, yeah. Like I say, that was the first meeting, and they wanted us to go on tour with them, but we was on our own 2-month tour of America. But we said, when you come to Europe, give us a call, and we'll come do some shows with you there. So we did their last tour.
Mhm.
At the end, Kurt shot himself, didn't he? At the end, but I spent a lot of time with him, and all of them. Dave Grohl and Chris Novoselic, that's me. Um, they would come in our dressing room every night, or we'd be in theirs. And so we spent a lot of time. The last, I think it was about a 2-week tour or something. But we was with each other all that time, and that was the last tour. And we didn't know that at the time. But they loved the Buzzcocks, and they loved punk rock and all that kind of stuff. Um, so they was inspired by bands like the Buzzcocks. But when you look at grunge music, it's kind of like punk rock at half speed. You see what I mean?
Yeah,
So I get how it's influenced them, but like the punk rock we was doing was quite fast. I said, if you listen to grunge, it's kind of punk rock, but it's at half time. It's like half the so maybe that's how it works for the grunge. But um, they did love us, and I did spend a lot of time with Kurt. Traveling around and walking around these stadiums and on buses and stuff. So yeah, I was sad when he shot himself. Of course, I didn't see that coming.
mhm.
I mean, he actually asked me once. He said, how have you survived all these years?" I said, "Well, when you start off and you go in a small van traveling up and down on the motorways and stuff, you get a sense of humour. It becomes a bit surreal, and a band has to have some humour between them to survive the touring." And he said, "A sense of humour." I said, "Yeah, man. You've got to have something light going on. Because it can be hard on the road. I mean, I love it, but you have to have a bit of a laugh. It becomes a bit surreal. So he asked me that really, and you know, how you survived those years. Little did I know he'd be shooting himself at the end of the tour for other reasons, you know. One thing he did like, though, but the first gig I got on the tour bus with him, he was on the bus after the show. And he played me Harmony in My Head, my song Harmony in My Head. And he said, I love the vocal on that.
Mm.
And I said, I smoked 20 cigarettes to get that rough sound, you know. I want you to sound like Little Richard or John Lennon on Twist and Shout, you know, shaking a bit of that guttural sound. So he loved the vocal sound on that. And when you think, or when you listen to his vocal sound, it's not dissimilar to the Harmony in My Head sound, you know, that rough rock sound, you know.
Mm.
So we like that, and I realised, oh yeah, it's a bit like his voice as well. You know what I mean? It's in a similar vein in a way, that rocky sound. So he did he liked the vocal on Harmony in My Head, and he liked it better when I said I smoked 20 cigarettes straight off to get that rough sound.